In this video, I'm gonna share 5 reasons to use full frame. Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto and I'm a photographer. Earlier this year, I published a video titled 5 reasons to use Micro Four Thirds. And today, for the sake of balance, here comes 5 reasons to use full frame. Reason number 1, full frame offers the best image quality for your money. It is true that there are some even larger sensor camera systems, so-called medium format systems, that offer even better and more image quality. But full frame offers the best value when it comes to image quality. There are so many sensor types to choose from and many pixel counts also to choose from, all the way up to about 60 megapixels currently when I'm recording this video. And regardless of what you choose, full frame offers excellent dynamic range at low ISO values and also excellent signal to noise ratio at high ISO values. Even relatively old full frame cameras hands down beat the latest small sensor cameras when it comes to image quality, like the amount of detail, dynamic range and high ISO performance. And if you're looking for a relatively high megapixel count, but your budget is limited, take a look at the Nikon D800 for example, or the Sony A7R Mark II. Both of those cameras offer a really superb image quality for relatively low money or low budget. Both those cameras are still competitive today regarding the image quality, like dynamic range, sharpness and the amount of detail and all that. And even the newer full frame cameras offer excellent value for money regarding the image quality. Some of them so-called medium format camera bodies are not really super expensive, but once you start adding lenses and everything you need for your system, then the cost kind of adds up and you simply cannot beat the value of the full frame when it comes to image quality. Reason number 2, full frame has the best variety of lenses and cameras. Full frame cameras have been around a long time, since 2002 when Canon released their EOS 1DS. There had been full frame cameras before that, but those were all collaborations with Kodak and I don't know, maybe some other companies too. But the EOS 1DS was the first complete camera made in-house by any major camera manufacturer, and therefore it was far more refined product than those earlier attempts with Kodak. And currently there are 6 manufacturers making full frame cameras: Canon, Leica, Nikon, Sigma, Sony and Pentax. So there is a lot to choose from, whether you want a used camera or second-hand camera or a completely brand new camera. You can choose a DSLR type of mirror camera, you can choose a mirrorless camera, and there is a camera for every budget. Take for example the first generation Canon 5D that you can buy for almost nothing these days. That camera still offers you that full frame look, and there are so many affordable excellent lenses available for that camera because the EF mount is one of the most popular autofocus lens mounts ever. And of course there are many other DSLR full frame cameras that can be had for very little money. And then of course there's the Leica M for those who have unlimited budget and prefer to manually focus and use a more traditional camera. And then the latest mirrorless offerings from Canon, Nikon and Sony especially. They offer excellent image quality, excellent usability, and they are really good for video production too. So full frame camera and lens selection are by far the best, and there is a camera and lens for every budget, and you definitely don't need a lot of money to explore full frame. Reason number 3, full frame is by far the best system for vintage legacy lenses. Most vintage or legacy lenses were originally designed for 35mm film camera. And as we all know, the negative size is the same as a full frame sensor. So whenever you adapt a 35mm film camera lens on a full frame mirrorless camera or any full frame camera, the lens works as it was originally designed to work. You'll get the same angle of view and everything is the same as on a film camera. I know some of you might want to argue that if you put a legacy lens on a crop sensor camera or a small sensor camera, you get the best part of the lens because the camera only uses the middle part of the image circle and therefore the image quality is better. But in my opinion, it's not always even true, and my opinion also is that if you're just looking for the best image quality like sharpness, contrast and all that, just buy modern lenses designed for digital cameras because those are usually superior to the old vintage legacy lenses. There are some exceptions, of course, but as a rule of thumb, if you're just looking for the best image quality, buy modern lenses. To me, at least, the appeal of legacy lenses is the look that I get, not the ultimate image quality like sharpness and all that. I think the look includes some maybe some imperfections and some things that were unique back then when they designed lenses for film cameras. It's not the ultimate sharpness, the ultimate contrast, the ultimate whatever performance. It's just the look that I get, and the look, in my opinion, includes all those imperfections that usually appear towards the corners and edges of the frame. So when you add all that up, I think full frame is by far the best format for vintage legacy lenses. Reason number 4, full frame is by far the most versatile format. You can build a really compact, nice system for example, street photography. But you can also build another kind of system with big lenses and excellent image quality for wildlife or sports or whatever. You can't build the most compact system, but you can still build a very compact system if you just pick the right camera body and the right lens or lenses. And because of the great lens selection, you can also choose lenses that offer extremely shallow depth of field. And while I think shallow depth of field is greatly overappreciated these days, it still can offer some benefits, especially for a professional shooter who can't always choose their background. So extremely shallow depth of field is a good way and easy way in some situations to kind of make the fuzzy background disappear. And also on a full frame camera, you can shoot the wide angle shallow depth of field pictures, which are not possible on smaller formats because there are no suitable lenses. At the moment, at least, when I'm recording this video. Full frame is also the best for low light action photography. You can choose super high ISO values and still get acceptable results. And if you shoot action, any kind of stabilizer is useless because you're going to need fast shutter speed. And full frame is also good for landscape photography. You can build a relatively compact setup with up to 60 megapixels, and then you can capture all that fine detail in front of you, and the dynamic range can handle pretty much any situation that the nature throws at you. In short, full frame is good for any kind of situation, and in my opinion it really is the most versatile system because it can handle anything you throw at it. Reason number 5. There are more lenses coming for full frame format than for any other format. There are 3 major autofocus lens manufacturers, third-party manufacturers, Samyang, Sigma and Tamron, and they are all pushing out more lenses for full frame than for any other format. And it's true that most or all of those lenses are for Sony cameras, unfortunately at the moment, or fortunately if you happen to be a Sony user, but they are still making those lenses for full frame format, and it's not those lens manufacturers' fault that they cannot make lenses, for example, for Canon and Nikon cameras. It's those camera manufacturers that don't want anyone to make third-party lenses for their cameras, which I think is really stupid. But then again, what do I know about camera marketing? I'm just a photographer. There are, of course, other mainly Chinese manufacturers making budget manual focus lenses for full frame and other formats too. But also Viltrox has been showing some really impressive and interesting autofocus lenses for full frame and other formats too. So the situation looks really good for a full frame shooter at the moment, and especially good if you are a Sony shooter or user. But I really do hope that the Canon and Nikon would be wise enough to license their mount for third-party manufacturers. So there you have it, 5 reasons to use full frame. And if you have an opinion on this, please do leave a comment down below. And if you found this video entertaining or useful, or you liked it, please consider buying me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below for that if you don't live in Finland. That can help me a lot to make more of these videos for you guys. And here is the 5 reasons to use Micro Four Thirds video, just in case you haven't seen it already. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.